In the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains, where the wind cuts like knives and the night swallows sound, 9 hikers ventured into the unknown. They never returned. What was found months later would spark one of the most terrifying unsolved mysteries in modern history, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. January 23, 1959. Igor Dyatlov, an experienced hiker, leads 8 university students on what was meant to be an adventure of a lifetime. The goal? To reach Otorten Mountain, a treacherous journey through the bitter Russian cold. They were young. They were fearless. They had no idea of the horror awaiting them. Diaries and cameras recovered from their abandoned campsite tell us their journey started well. The group, Yuri Doroshenko, Lyudmila Dubinina, Georgy, Yuri, Krivonishenko, Alexander Kolovatov, Rustem Slobodin, Nikolai Thibaut Brignoles, Semyon, Alexander Zolotaryov, and Yuri Yudin laughed. They took photos. But as they trekked deeper into the wilderness, something changed. They wrote about worsening weather, tension among the group, and an eerie presence that some described as watching them. On February 1st, the group set up camp on the slopes of Kholat Syakhl, meaning Dead Mountain, in the language of the indigenous Mansi people. Then, the night came. Something, or someone, forced them to cut their way out of their tent in the dead of night, running barefoot into the sub-zero cold. The fabric, slashed from the inside, flapped violently in the wind. Their footprints, frantic, uneven, staggered away into the darkness. But why? What did they see? Was it something moving in the trees? A sound? A whisper? A low, guttural growl? Their frozen footprints tell a story of sheer panic, as if they were fleeing from something beyond comprehension. A terror so overwhelming that they chose certain death over staying a second longer in that tent. 26 days later, rescuers found their bodies, scattered, frozen, and horribly disfigured. Some were found near the tent, barely clothed. Others had managed to reach the tree line but had no chance against the deadly cold. And then, the truly disturbing details emerged. Some had crushed skulls and shattered ribs, with no external wounds, as if the force of a car crash had hit them. One was missing her tongue, her eyes gouged out, her mouth frozen in a twisted, silent scream. Their hands were raw, their fingertips stripped down to the bone, as if they had clawed at something in sheer desperation. Some had burns, unexplained, seared into their flesh despite the frigid cold. And then, there was the radiation, a strange, lingering contamination, clinging to their clothes, whispering of something unseen, something unnatural. Their skin had turned a sickening shade of orange, their hair a brittle, unnatural grey. Eyes that once held life now stared blankly into the void. What could have done this? What horror did they face in their final moments? Were they running from something, or trying to fight it off? Theories flooded in. A military experiment gone wrong? Some say they stumbled upon secret Soviet weapon testing, perhaps infrasound waves or parachute mines that caused panic and internal injuries. Others believe they were attacked by something inhuman, a yeti perhaps, a creature unknown to science. Some witnesses reported strange orange orbs in the sky that night. Could they have been UFOs? The group's final photograph, blurred, overexposed, shows mysterious lights hovering in the distance. Could they have seen something they weren't meant to see? Or was it something more supernatural? The Mansi people believed the mountain was cursed. Some say an ancient restless force awoke that night. But if so, why? Why that night? And why those 9 souls? Decades have passed. The files remain open, the answers just out of reach. What happened to Igor Dyatlov and his team? Was it madness, murder, or something far worse? To this day, whispers of that night drift through the frozen air. Some say the land itself remembers, that the spirits of the Nine still wander the snow-covered slopes, trapped in a moment of terror that will never fade. Others claim the truth was buried, sealed within classified reports, locked away where no one will ever find it. But sometimes, in the dead of night, when the wind howls through the mountains, if you listen closely, you might still hear their screams. If you dare to tread the path of the Dyatlov Nine, beware. The mountain is watching, and it does not let go.